Hi, Matt. Ryan, can you hear me? Oh, you're muted. Can you hear me, Ryan? Can you hear me now? Testing, testing. Can anyone hear me? Oh, there. Ryan, can you hear me?
Hey, Deb. Yeah, sorry, just tuning in. Yep, I can hear you.
Good. We're good. Says Matt still connecting.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm not sure what's cooking there. Hopefully you can.
Yeah, it seems to be spinning.
Yeah, I'll text him here in a minute or two.
All right. Coming to you from the lovely porch, Isle of Palms,
Oh,
South Carolina.
nice. Coming to
Yes, it's a beautiful day.
office.
Is it cold up there?
No, it's pretty good. I ran out at lunch. Haven't been out since. A little cloudy. Sun's kind of peeking through.
There you go.
I don't know what it is.
When we
now.
left.
65, 70,
Yeah,
maybe warmer. I don't know.
Oh, there you
It's up
go.
in here all day.
Low 80s here, so.
It's not quite that warm, I don't think. I think we're waiting. I think everybody's coming. I saw everybody accepted the meeting invite, so I believe so.
Okay.
Randy, we communicated on email with the agenda today to get everything
Yep.
rocking and rolling. So
That was pretty clever, Matt. It looked like you just walked across the front yard of the.
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh, there's Randy.
There's Randy. Yeah.
Hey, Randy.
Randy.
Ooh, Randy.
How's everyone doing?
Good. How
All
are you?
right.
Deb, where are you guys?
We are in Isle of Palm, South Carolina.
Nice.
Thank you. Yep, down there by Charleston.
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, we're going into Charleston for dinner when this is over. So if grandkids, if you hear like whooping and hollering, I'm out here on the porch, so I'm hoping they stay in there.
In there.
Yes. They were all down at the pool here a little bit ago, but I think they've all come in to get dressed. So you never know.
Randy, I think everybody should be here. I know Krista and John had both accepted the invite, so
Yeah.
Okay.
should be with us shortly, I would assume. Oh, there's John.
Hi, John.
Hey, John.
Oh, he's connecting.
How's vacation, Deb?
It's going very nicely, thanks.
Good.
Beautiful weather, just low 80s, which is awesome. Nice breeze. Sunday was cold. We all had sweatshirts on, which was a little strange, but no, today's beautiful and yesterday was beautiful.
Good.
Oh, there's Krista.
How's Tiffany doing?
She has reached and is creeping further into let's just have this baby territory.
Yes, I'm sure she is. As it gets hotter, yeah, my kids were born in November, so I had to go through the summers and it was not fun.
Hey, Krista.
Hi. A lot of time in front of fans.
Well, between my wife and I, we're both about the same height, 6 foot or 6'1", so he's gonna be a big boy.
Yes, I would say he's going to be a tall one.
Yeah, and I'm not responsible for carrying him right now for obvious reasons. So she's doing all the heavy lifting.
Yes. Your time's coming, believe me.
I know.
All right, Randy, we've got everybody. We got a quorum.
All right, we're ready to go. Well, I'd like to call this Bucyrus City Schools Board of Education special meeting dated June 1st, 2021 to order. Roll call, Mr. Cook.
Yes, sir. Mr. Kime,
Here.
Mrs. Graves,
Present.
Mrs. Hoover,
Here.
Mr. Blankenship.
Here.
All right.
All right. If you don't have it on there, but we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you guys would join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and justice for all.
All right, so the next order of business will be the approval of today's agenda. Are there any changes to today's agenda?
Randy, I would like to add board committees as a discussion, and if we see fit, action item. Just the creation of board committees.
You want to add that for today?
Yes,
Okay.
not planning any extensive discussion, just very brief.
Okay. Is there a motion to add the
Well,
discussion item?
I guess I'll make the motion to add creation of board committees as a discussion item with potential action to follow.
Got John on the motion.
And then we need a second.
Support.
All right, thanks, Deb.
Roll call, Mr. Cook.
Yes, Mr. Kime,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mrs. Graves,
Yes.
Mr. Blankenship.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ryan, does that become like 5 and then adjournment becomes 6?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
That's where I had an arrow going.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so with that, we would need a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, Mr. Cook.
Yes, Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Kime,
Yes.
Mrs. Graves,
Yes.
Mr. Blankenship.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so next order of business would be the business section. And that would be item 3.1 to accept the resignation of David Jones Jr. from the Bucyrus City Schools Board of Education. Is there a motion to accept his resignation?
So moved.
And we need
Second.
roll call, Mr. Cook.
Yes, Mr. Kime,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mrs. Graves,
Sadly, yes.
Mr. Blankenship.
Yes.
Okay.
Before we go on, does anyone have anything they'd like to say? I guess I should have asked that before we got to that point, but I would just like to thank Dave for his contributions to the board these past 17 months. When Dave and I started this journey 2 years ago, we were complete strangers. And then we ended up being coworkers and then eventually came on the board together. And during that time, we not only became colleagues, but we've become really good friends. And while he won't be sitting next to each other next to me and all of us, I do know that he's going to remain committed to our district and our kids through other avenues. So I just, again, would like to thank him for his contributions to Bucyrus City Schools these past 17 months.
Yeah.
I would
Randy-
second that.
Yeah, I would second that. And you and Dave and Krista all came in at possibly the worst time we've ever seen to be a new board member in handling one of the worst crises I hope we all ever live to see. So you guys were kind of baptized by fire, more so than just the average everyday board member would have been. So have to thank Dave for his time, because I know took time away from family and he gave it to us. So thank you.
Yeah, certainly his priority is obviously his personal well-being as well as his family. So we've already had a private discussion. He certainly knows my feelings about it. And I'll just keep that private then between us. So thank you.
I think we've all certainly been, understand the strain and the stress that this position can have, and especially during those kind of really difficult times. So I thank Dave for what he's done, and regretfully, but I understand.
All right. Well, that brings us to our next order of business of nominating a board vice president. At this time, I would like to declare nominations open for board vice president.
I will nominate Krista Graves for board vice president.
Second.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay, Ryan, can I just declare her then, or do we need to vote?
No, no need to vote. You can just by acclamation.
Okay, I will declare Krista Graves, Bucyrus City Schools Board Vice President.
All right, got it. Krista, we'll do at our June meeting, since we'll be in person, we'll do the oath of office for you there. If that's okay with you.
Now, may I ask,
Mhm.
will I have to also do, I guess, run again this November also for that position, or is it just for?
No, that would just be whoever's appointed. I'm sure there's some people out there that wonder. So I'll kind of walk through that just so anybody listening can hear it. The
Okay.
board will appoint someone to fill Dave's seat. That will be appointed, assuming at the June meeting. So the term of the appointee will run from June through December 31st of this year. Whoever's appointed to this seat will need to run in a special election in November. So they would
Sure.
be appointed at the June meeting, serve July's meeting, and then if they want to run again for that term, they would need to submit the paperwork to the Board of Elections for that. And once the person's appointed, I will communicate to the Board of Elections their appointment. Anyone is eligible to run for that term in the special election, the remaining 2 years of Dave's term. But
Mhm.
you're duly elected for your 4 years. No need to run for that. Board officers will be renominated and appointed at the January organizational meeting in January of 22. So you'll serve as board vice president until January of 2022. So hopefully
Okay.
that helps.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that'll bring us to item number 5, which would be a discussion about the creation of board committees. I know we've had this discussion multiple times, and it seems to be that something else pops up and it gets put on the back burner. So I know you guys did committees in the past, so I would be open to hearing what you guys have done in the past and see where this heads. So if you guys want to take over and lead that, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, Randy, I'll lead off, and Deb, feel free to pitch in where I might be forgetting. So there was communications. I think it was building resources, climate and culture. And it was curriculum was the other one. And of course, athletic council and
there was a health and wellness.
Okay, I was unsure how
Tracy
those were.
was, because Tracy did health and wellness.
And just speaking from my personal experience, sometimes it felt like maybe we were spread too thin throughout those committees, and it made us not as effective as we could have been. So the idea I was going to propose to the group was community outreach, student achievement, and district climate and culture. Feel free to chime in with any thoughts. The purpose behind starting this now is so we have time over the summer to formulate the purpose and the structure and the goals of those committees and have those ready by the start of the school year.
And I would suggest that maybe those committees be, I think one of the complaints that we had when we did them before was that, we had teachers involved on the committees as well. And some of them complained that it was more of just a report out session rather than a brainstorming type of committee where you could discuss maybe some ideas or some things that might need improvement or something, that kind of a thing. So
Yeah,
I suggest that it might be more of a discussion based thing where we get input from staff and input from community and input from admin and all of it, rather than just being more of a report out of what we're doing.
Yeah, I would like the it'd be a brainstorming and problem solving group.
Right.
In a very diverse group in terms of people who are on them and what seat they may or may not have in our district or our community.
Right.
I don't know what anybody else has. I just really don't want us to let this slip on the back burner anymore, because
And I think that, yeah,
as-
problem solving is important.
yeah, as we found out, it's real easy to have something else creep up on
Right.
of importance and lose sight of why we're here. So
I think the committees that we decide to do, they should be aligned with what our goals are for the district. You know how we have it categorized right now into four areas. So I think whatever we decide moving forward as a board, our goals for the district is what we should look at then for committee, being communications one of them. You know, that's all important to all of us.
Sure.
Student achievement, obviously, academics.
Right.
So whatever our goals are, then that's where we should,
Right.
consider forming committees then, and getting input from the community, from our staff, from
Right.
administration, so on and so forth.
And the input to better it, not just a complaint forum.
Yeah, to build it up, not tear it down.
Right. Something that is there to problem solve and to build
Absolutely.
what we're looking for.
Absolutely. Yes.
I don't know if we are locked into the names I listed out or whatever we want to call them. But community outreach could surely be called communication.
Sure.
And I think district climate and culture is appropriately named, and also with student achievement. And those are super, super important areas for us right now as a district. So
would you be comfortable if I noted in the minutes the discussion on the committees, and I think Krista's suggestion of alignment, if you will, to the district goals, members and details to be further discussed,
Sure.
June, July, to get the new person on board, but note Krista's suggestion on those district goal alignments.
I think so. I don't want to put the cart before the horse here. And I think it's got to be top priority is to establish goals. With everything else that has went on the last few days, I think we should wait until we get the appointed person, and then once we have that person, we have a goal setting and committee work session, and we establish what our district goals are between the five of us and Matt and Ryan. And then after that, we build out the committees, like Krista said, based off of our goals. I think Cheryl Ryan mentioned committees.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
Based off of district goals. Obviously,
Right.
there's some sort of communication, community engagement committee is needed,
Right.
and it's going to be a goal. So we all know that.
Randy, the big concern for me is I want a deadline on this for us as a group.
I agree. So I think as soon as we have 30 days from Saturday, is that correct?
Correct.
So we're looking, last week of June. If it takes that long, I don't know. I've never went through this before, obviously, but I'm on board with doing it ASAP. As soon as that person's onboarded and ready to go, we can get it on the books. John, I will not prolong this. I promise you.
No, I just know it is, and you've been around long enough to see how easily it is for something to creep up and steal priority. So, yeah, as long as we're all on the same page on what we want to do, if we can just put a deadline on it, like September 1st,
It's got to be,
October.
I want it done before the start of the school year.
Works for me.
So I'm thinking
Okay.
we're going to have some sort of meeting in July at some point about it.
Okay.
Ryan, can you just make sure the minutes reflect that committee and goal formulation will be completed
July.
before the school year has started, the 2021-22 school year?
Yeah, sure can. I'll
Okay.
target July right now. I think that's a good target. We could always do a work session. You've got the regular meeting. There may be a special for some hiring or something. So July is probably a good end date for that, and then head into August with school starting.
Speaking of that, Matt, when do you foresee having a meeting for principals? You know,
Meeting
yeah.
for,
You mentioned a special meeting possibly to
Oh,
hire the principals.
so we are looking at maybe June 10th to
Okay.
have a special meeting, not only to do hires, but also hopefully we'll have candidates for the interim board position, and that would be a time for the board to meet those folks as well. That was on that sheet I sent you yesterday.
Just so you know, June 10th is not a good day for me, but I'm available on the 11th. I know it's Friday, but I could.
Okay.
What's the 9th look like that Wednesday? I can do a Thursday. That Thursday, I've got a meeting until 4:30. It's a Zoom, but
Mhm.
I am good. The 9th, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah,
We can do the 9th.
the obviously, you guys all know, the closer we get to the first of next month, my availability becomes extremely extremely volatile.
Yes.
And so if we could act quickly, I would appreciate it. As quickly as we can, of course.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Is there any other discussion items with the committees, or are we good and we got a plan in place for that?
Matt, can you provide an update to the board on the posting of the girls basketball position?
It was submitted to Ohio High School Athletic Association last Friday.
Okay.
And internal posts went up, I think, either yesterday or today.
Okay, and where's that located?
Where's what located?
Well, will the posting be on our district website too?
It should be on our human resources link.
It is
It's
on.
Debbie, where Debbie lists it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there anything else for old business that we would want to cover, or all good?
No, sir.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn today's special board meeting.
So moved.
Thank you.
We need a second, right?
yes, sir.
Support.
Roll call, Mr. Cook.
Yes, Mr. Kime,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mrs. Graves,
Yes.
Mr. Blankenship.
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned at 4:51. Thanks, guys.
He's in a hurry.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
See you